So by now, I'm sure you all have seen countless videos along the lines of the fall of Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 is a dead game. And no hate to these creators since they definitely have a point, but I actually disagree, and in fact, I think that Overwatch 2 is a great game. But let's just say these videos don't just exist for no reason, so let's just rip the band-aid off and start with the bad. In 2019, Blizzard announced their sequel to their hit game Overwatch, which even managed to win Game of the Year back in 2016, with the focus of the second game being based on highly replayable PvE missions. Yes, that's right, a whole story campaign based on expanding the lore of the characters and the game, with skill trees on top of the already enjoyable PvP experience. And this made existing Overwatch fans super excited. Even people who weren't fans of Overwatch were looking forward to this. In a game with such a diverse cast of well-written characters, it is clear to see why people were so excited for this. After being announced, Blizzard made the decision to stop development and support for Overwatch 1 to help develop Overwatch 2, which was definitely met with mixed reactions from the community. And after the final character of Overwatch 1's lifespan, Echo, was released in 2020, it left many fans wondering what was next. And with no clear release date of the sequel in sight, it was the lowest Overwatch had ever been. And fast forward past a few beta tests, and here we are. It's October 2022 and Overwatch 2 was just released to the public. But there was one big issue. The PvE still had yet to release. It was only a standalone PvP experience with new maps, heroes, reworks, and the switch to 5v5. But it still left most people asking, where's the PvE and what's even different about the game? But besides the removal of several features and an egregious monetization system in the shop, it was still safe to say that Overwatch had recovered from its drought of Overwatch 1. And with everybody waiting along for the ride for the PvE to release, Overwatch had felt the most exciting it had ever felt for a while. But all good things come to an end. As the seasons went on, player count was dropping, until we got this heartbreaking announcement that changed everything. On May 16th of 2023, Jared Noose said this.
With everything we've learned about what it takes to operate this game at the level that you deserve, it's clear that we can't deliver on that original vision for PvE that was shown in 2019. What that means is that we won't be delivering that dedicated hero mode with talent trees, that long-term power progression. Those things just aren't in our plans anymore.
And with that, the hopes and dreams of Overwatch 2 were shattered as we know it. This was an absolute train wreck, and I think this is going down in the history of gaming forever. I mean, this really was a tragedy. We wouldn't get hero talent trees or anything, even though we had a playable demo of this years ago before it had came out. But by the time Season 6 came out and they launched the shell of what the PvE was supposed to be, 3 missions for $15 that were very short and there was nothing of any substance to them. I myself had a very hard time getting through these missions. I mean, I played it on the hardest difficulty and it was just sitting there shooting an unkillable thing with so much health the whole time. It was so boring I could barely get through it. I could only name 2 actual good things about the PvE, and that is all the different interactions between the characters, because there are tons of voice lines here. And it is also kind of cool to see the maps like New Queen Street and see different areas of them, but these are the only 3 we got and they're still pretty bad. So it's still a huge letdown and one of the biggest letdowns in gaming. It was just so frustrating to see that even after all of the delays, all the hard work, killing Overwatch 1 for all these years, this was the reason this how all happened. This was the reason Overwatch died for years and years. This is it? Really? That is nearly 4 years of development for these 3 lackluster missions. It makes you wonder what they were doing all of that time. I just have to say though, this probably isn't the developers' fault, because I know that they genuinely love this game, and it was probably just a bad management decision from the higher ups at Blizzard or Activision. Whatever it is, even if this is old news, just don't go hating the developers for this, because I genuinely don't think it's their fault. I could be wrong, but I just don't think so. But But to most people, this is when Overwatch had died. They're never gonna consider playing the game again, and it's just another fading star in the gaming industry. So amongst all this madness, where do I see the good in Overwatch 2? Well, what we still have is a great PvP game with 42 characters, 36 maps, and 14 seasons. And no, Blizzard did not pay me to say this. And with 10 of those being brand new Overwatch 2 characters, and all of them still interesting and with fun and cool designs. And it is amazing that they can do this after nearly 10 years of development for this game. Where other games like TF2 were left in the dust to never get updated again, Overwatch 2 is still going amongst all the darkness shrouded on the game. But what I think makes Overwatch 2 stand out amongst all the other current multiplayer games is their community support. I used to play lots of other free-to-play multiplayer games like Fortnite, Apex, or even Rocket League, but what made Overwatch so different to me is the fact that on a month basis, the devs are willing to post a blog post about everything they're currently planning and thinking for the game, and they give out frequent roadmaps. And the only roadmap I've ever seen Fortnite give out is this leaked one for the entirety of last year. And back when I used to love Apex so much and I played it all the time, there would never be any communication between the devs or the players, rarely at all. And of course Overwatch is different than Fortnite and Apex, but where Fortnite has started to lose its identity a little bit over the years, and Apex is slowly falling down a deep dark hole of monetization, which I think is way worse than Overwatch 2, by the way, Overwatch is still the same game that everybody loved to play. And despite some questionable balance changes like micro buffs to Orisa and Mauga and all the crazy metas that have happened during Overwatch's lifespan, they are still regularly trying new things and new systems to add to the game and constantly trying to improve quality of life features. Like look, just earlier this year they introduced Season 9, which gave everybody the self-heal passive and increased the time to kill overall and made the game feel completely fresh, especially with adding a new DPS passive, giving them bigger impact to the game. And them saying they want to give these yearly refreshes on how the game feels. And more recently, another feature that they've implemented is making the second half of the season not so dry by making the last weekend a competitive drive, which lets you earn bonus competitive points for the weekend and also these cool signatures, which is a brand new cosmetic type for the game. And also, not to mention the hero trials. I don't know any other game that does this with their heroes, allowing you to play the hero a few weeks early so they can come out with balance patches as soon as they release is a genius strategy. And since the launch of Overwatch 2, there have been plenty of complaints about not getting enough currency in the battle pass, because in Season 1 you got a grand total of 0 coins and 0 credits. And in Season 10, instead of doing these weird weekly challenges to get 10, 20, 30 Overwatch coins every week, you can instead get them much easier and just progress through the battle pass, and with 60 more coins total per season, giving you 600 for free if you play the entire season, which still isn't enough to fully pay off the battle pass in the game every season, but I think that's honestly completely fine because Fortnite has said that is one of their biggest regrets is being able to do that because they lose so much money off the battle passes. And honestly, Overwatch's battle pass is pretty good, and if you don't want to pay for it, you only have to play 2 seasons to get one for free. And keep in mind that each season is only 2 months long as well, and if you compare that to other games with 3-month-long seasons, you only get 300 free coins every season, meaning you would have to play 10.5 months of the game to get 1 battle pass for free. And I've seen some seasons of games go longer than 3 months, so that's being generous. And then you compare that to Overwatch 2, where you only need to play 4 months to get a free battle pass. The main difference that you can't infinitely farm it after you get it, but that's only if you were to play the game all the time. And if you do play the game all the time, you can still get every other battle pass for free, which I think is still pretty good. And while we're on the controversial topic of battle passes, we might as well bring up the other criticism that Overwatch 2 had, and that was new heroes being released in the battle pass, which as of Season 10, they have completely done away with and just gave every character to everyone for free, which is definitely how it should have been at the start, especially after the Mauga incident where people were leaving the game to go buy him. But better late than never. whatever, I guess, so good on them. And it's little things like this, of them listening to the community and giving more features to the game, that gives Overwatch this kind of life that other games are missing. And dare I say, I think they're even doing a better job than Overwatch 1 was, because they didn't add a single new core game mode to Overwatch 1, and whether you like them or not, Overwatch 2 has tried 3 new game mode types: Push, Flashpoint, and most recently Clash. Now, I don't think Overwatch 2 is inherently a better game than Overwatch 1 was, because it's not fair to compare the two really, but I'm just pointing out the differences in development between the two, just to shine some light on how hard the developers are still working on the PvP of Overwatch 2. And even after all of that, we still have such a great 5v5 hero shooter game with so much potential with team combos and just synergy with your team, or if you're not playing with the team, you still have carry potential by yourself. And there's also 3 different roles that you can choose from depending on what you want to play or how good your mechanics are, because if you have better aim, you'll probably want to play DPS, and if you don't have good mechanics, you'll probably play something like support if you're better at timing abilities, or if you have better leadership, you might want to go play tank. But the point is that every game that you play will feel different with so many maps and different hero combinations or different roles. There's so many different ways that make this game unique and exciting all the time. But in my opinion, one of the most important things that we still have with Overwatch 2 is these great content creators. Like, if it weren't for all these loyal creators that we still have, such as Schlatts, MyGoat, Emong, SK, Frogger, Aspen, J3, Boger, like I can't even name all of them. There are so many that I didn't even mention. Like, shout out to these people for still giving love to a game that's hated by so many people, and giving new and interesting ways for fans of the game to still enjoy it. And fun fact, if you didn't know, my channel's only about a month old, and these people have given me big inspiration to start this channel of my own, and I genuinely look up to them. So I just want to show my gratitude to these creators, and also even the developers, for just keeping the game that I love alive. And also a huge thanks to you for watching this video and just listening to me yap about Overwatch. Now, most importantly, what's next for the future of Overwatch? Overwatch 3, anyone? Yeah, no, I hope not. Now, obviously, Overwatch 2 is far from a perfect game, but putting away the broken promises of the past of Overwatch, we still have a very promising future for this game. Now, do I think Overwatch can ever repair its reputation to the public? Yeah, probably not. It is too far gone in this hole, but you know what? There's still people who love this game, there is still a strong community, and I believe in the developers. And unlike Apex, which is losing hundreds of thousands of players, Overwatch is actually on a steady growth of player count, which is honestly pretty surprising, but it still makes me pretty hopeful for the future of this game. But we are still getting huge amounts of content on a 2-month basis, which is absolutely insane. But one of the biggest things I'm hoping for in the future of Overwatch is a One Piece collab. I have been waiting for this in a game forever. Please, Blizzard. Especially after how hard they cooked with the My Hero Academia collab. I really want this. And if you made it to the end of this video, I'm assuming that you like Overwatch, and if you want to see more content like this, then you should subscribe and help me reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I would really appreciate it. And if you want to see more things that I hope get added in the future of Overwatch 2, then you should watch this video. But until next time, just keep on gaming.